So, good morning. So, shall we start? Hello.
Yeah, ma'am. Good morning, ma'am. Am I
Good
audible?
morning.
Yeah, shall we start the session, sir?
Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am. Of course.
Yeah, okay, thank you.
Good morning, everyone. It's my pleasure to welcome our CEO, Dr. Mala ma'am, in her absentia, Secretary Sir, Mr. G. Manigandan, Principal, Dr. S. Ramesh Sir, Dr. Anuradha ma'am, Dean Academics, the HODs of all the departments, staff members, and students. I am profoundly delighted to take an opportunity to introduce our chief guest, Mr. Karthikeyan V, founder and CEO of Caprico Securities, who has graciously accepted our invitation to join us today. Mr. Karthikeyan is a highly accomplished individual who has a wealth of experience and knowledge in fields of ethical hacking and cybersecurity, which he will generously share with us shortly. Some of his notable achievements include discovered a new Android malware in 2020 and ethically hacked and secured more than 6 billion Android devices. He secured 50 plus Fortune companies, which includes Google, Microsoft, Apple, and Snapchat. Android rewarded him $5,000 for securing Android OS. He not only works but also trained more than 600 students all over India. He also solved 67 plus cybercrime cases by working along with the Tamil Nadu Police Department and reported more than 1,600 critical bugs to the Indian government. With no further delay, let me hand over to the session to our beloved chief guest.
Thank you. Thank you for the invitation. So, very good morning, all. So, in today's webinar, we will see the we will see the basic introduction of cybersecurity. So, many people are asking how to start a cybersecurity and what are the requirements for starting a cybersecurity and what's the difference between a cybersecurity and ethical hacking and what are the career opportunity in cybersecurity and ethical hacking. Okay. So we will cover all the basic things, and in the end of this session, you will learn some basic stuffs to start a cybersecurity. Even you don't want to pay any money, even you can learn all these stuff from your college syllabus as well as something already available in Google itself. Okay. So yeah, about me, my name is Karthikeyan. I'm the founder and CEO of Caprico Securities. Caprico Securities is a cybersecurity based company. We just do security audits and cybercrime investigations on all other security operation based works. A few of my achievements are I hacked and found a bug in Google, Android, Snapchat, and many more big fortune companies. One of my notable achievements is Android rewarded 5,000 US dollar in 2020 for finding a bug in Android OS, which could easily exploitable any Android devices by installing my malware, and also possible to take over the entire mobile account based systems. Example, username, passwords, or gaining entire account system access. So these are my all of them proof that I found a bug and reported a security vulnerability over there. So example, here you can see the some of the well-known company called Tesla, Unity, and Jet, and many more such you may notable here. So let me tell you what is bug bounty. Okay, so bug bounty is all about finding a security flaw. Okay, so finding a security flaw in major applications like a web application or mobile application. It can be any kind of application, not only for application, even it can be a hardware or RF communication as well as. Okay, so by finding a security bug and ethically reporting to the particular organizations. For example, I found a bug in Google Duo application, which is video calling app. I think that application currently not available in Play Store. I'm not sure, but in 2018 or 2017 period, it's a number one video calling app. So I found a bug over there, which can able to make a video call to unknown person, and without their permission we can remotely trigger the video call permissions. We can able to steal some photograph information. So I ethically reported this vulnerability to Google security team, and Google just give me all of them for this and consider as a bug. And also I worked with almost one month to secure the particular bug. So likewise, I found different bugs in different companies. So this is a Hall of Fame list, which all contain a Buckroad platform informations. So this is my target scope. Uh, Almost I reported a bugs over 56 plus bugs in websites in specifically Buckroad and Android 12 and iOS 8 and API testing also 12. Sorry, 20. Okay. So all are similar thing. Okay. So this is a proof. I rewarded a 5,000 US dollar from Android security team for finding a security vulnerability. So this is a proof. This is how we actually communicate with the Android security team. Like that time the COVID was facing over everywhere. So I just sent a mail and I received a mail back for more queries, and we raised the issue tracker for this. And I worked with Android coding structure to implement their Android security functions. So you can see there is an Android contribute license agreement which like allow me to can't disclose some informations and also like some core personal information. Okay. Anyways, the Android is an open source library, and Android is open source OS. Anyone can able to download and modify their customizable functions. So yeah. So well, many people know about what is cybersecurity, but just for clarification, as per the security researcher view, so what people think the cybersecurity word is comes in their mind. So they can like the cybersecurity people or ethical hackers are good at hacking someone's mobile phone or social media accounts or hacking some Wi-Fi neighbors, Wi-Fi networks, something like tracking a mobile phone or tracking a call data or something like that. Okay, but actually that's not a cybersecurity. The reality is all about finding a security vulnerabilities in application or hardware or of which I already told, or else you can also call it as a penetration testing or a person who is responsible for all the hardware and software based systems. Okay, if you are working on a company, the company is providing you a laptop. Okay, so if the laptop is very much secure, right? So there is a person who is responsible for your laptops and your network systems. So the person behind there working to secure their networks and also working on to secure their OS functions and access privilege systems. Okay, so that is called cybersecurity. Okay, which is not limited to only a breaking application or hardware or any other IoT based stuff. Any technology which connected to the internet or integrated with hardware or software stuff can be a possible to hack. Okay, it can be a possible. Okay, so in short, about way to sell, all about finding a security bug in code review, understanding a technology, and breaking it by offensive approach. Okay, so person who think offensively about a technology and breaking that particular technology and ethically reporting to the particular organization is called cybersecurity researcher or ethical hacker. So what we should learn? First, we should learn about Linux and other OS, which is very important because I believe hacking, like ethical hacking or cyber security, is not a separate course which you can learn by understanding a multiple or various technologies. For example, just assume that you are going to hack a web application. So how the web application will work? That is the first thing you have to understand. Okay, or else if you are planning to hack an Android phone, so first thing you have to understand how the Android phone will work and how the SMS function work, how the call logs will work, and many more stuff. Okay, so first thing is understanding a technology. That is what I'm telling here. So, so most of the software and hardware-based devices running over the OS, right? So first thing, understanding OS is very important. Even if you want to build your hacking laptop or like mobile phones, first thing you have to install Linux in your Android device as well as your laptop. So Linux is most famous open source OS and which is widely used by security researchers and also by developers. Okay, so that is the main reason you have to understand the Linux. And second thing, many web servers, not only web servers, even your neighbor PC, or else you're working under a company called ABC. So the company is planning to do a security audit. So you have to do a security audit on Windows applications or Windows OS, or like Active Directory things. So first thing you have to understand the OS. Okay, so I mainly suggest you to learn first thing is Linux, second thing is Mac OS, third thing is Windows. Okay, so understanding OS is very important. Second thing, programming language and scripting language. So why is there a, like many people asking me that it is important to learn programming language, and many people even after completing a cybersecurity, they are just asking the same question: is that programming language is very important to learn, or do I survey or not? Actually, to learn cybersecurity, it's not important thing, but understanding a cybersecurity or working on some core stuffs, you have to learn the programming language, which is very important. Okay, so there is a term called secure code development. So if you are doing a web development or a mobile application development, so many developers just planning to develop the application, but they don't focus on securing their application. So nowadays, many as you are students, so I'm just giving you a hint. Many college applications are vulnerable to SQL injections, or XSS based or account takeover based bugs. I'm ethically finding that bugs and reporting to particular organizations or college. So they are just planning to secure their application. It is very important. So how we can find the vulnerabilities and how we are going to secure it. First thing, by understanding a scripting language, we can find a vulnerability. For example, if you are planning to do some exploitations over cross-site scripting or HTML based anything, these are the low-level bugs which can execute in your client side. Okay, so or else you are planning to insert RCE or command injection based bugs, you have to learn the programming language first. Okay, to implement a security, you can also learn a programming language, which is very important. Okay, so from for beginners, it's not a recommended one, but to become an expert, it's very important to learning a programming language and scripting language. And also there are many core sectors in cybersecurity, so which is very important to learn a programming language. We will see in more detail. So third one is networking and server fundamental. So as you know, hacking is all about communicating with someone's device. Okay, this is what we will see at the end. Okay, so for example, I have my PC, which is possible to um, hack any device or network, because I written some scripts and tools in my PC. I have my neighbor's PC or my client PC, which they are requesting me to test their security to prevent from cyber attacks. So I'm planning to do a security audit over that machine. I'm finding some vulnerabilities over there and gaining some knowledge. How I'm going to gain? I don't have permission to touch the PC. I don't have permission to like like installing some application in their machine. Okay, all I want to do remotely. So first thing, we need to understand the basic communication of networking, how one system and another system going to communicate, whether it's a TCP or UDP protocol. This is a main thing, right? So first thing, we have to learn TCP or UDP protocol from networking. And topologies is very important. So if you're planning to do a security audit on network infrastructures, means you have to learn about topologies and network types, which is very important. Okay, so and server fundamentals. So most of the attacks are happening because of server configurations. So people aware about don't aware about installing and configuring the server stuff, because most of the servers are configured with by default credentials. For example, I have a like WordPress CRM portal which running admin and admin credentials. Even I just within a few minutes of brute forcing attack, I can able to log into any WordPress account. Okay, so this is how a basic fundamentals are exploitable. Okay, so understanding a servers is very important. And the second part is if you are planning to do a email spoofing, you have to find a bug on SMTP server, simple mail transfer protocol server. Likewise, there are tons of servers. So understanding a server is very important to gain access to unauthorized machine and also securing the network. Okay, and fourth thing is application development. So the world is covered up with the most of the applications only. Okay, even in your in your mobile, you have a tons of application. Even we are using a Google Meet to communicate each other, right? So applications are everywhere, and application is very important nowadays. So a basic thing to exploit someone's mobile device or a computer, or finding a security bugs on web application or a database, So we need to understand a basic application development, which cover a web, mobile, desktop, and many more steps. Okay. And fifth one, we should focus on IoT and RF communication, which is a unique one. You guys may probably not hear about before. Uh, why I'm telling this means because in future, the most of the technologies are integrated with IoT. Even we are adapted to IoT. Your smart device is a IoT integrated one. Your smartwatch or smartphone or even your router, your CCTV cameras, IP-based CCTV cameras, and many more stuff are integrated with IoT. Okay, so understanding IoT is very important for future. And RF communication. So RF communication is all about for example, if you are using a SIM card, it's communicating over the radio frequency, right? So we can call it as a telecom communication. So there is a term in cybersecurity, telecom security audit or penetration testing. So for that, we need to understand RF communication, and not only for SIM cards, even your car door lock or the wireless calling bell or the wireless temperature sensor, and many more stuffs. Many more stuffs are integrated with RF communication. Even satellite communications also integrated with RF stuffs. Okay. So six, finally, requirements to learn cybersecurity. So requirements to learning cybersecurity, as I already told you, it's not only all about hardware. I mean software. We can also learn about the hardware also. Okay. So hardware and software both we have to understand, and we have to learn how to develop the both hardware and software stuffs. Okay. So well, why Linux? We will say in-depth concept now. So Linux is highly secured one. Okay, so for example, if you are using an Android or iOS OS, most if I ask a question, which one is highly secure? I know that most people say that iPhone is the most secure one, right? So, but actually that's not the truth. Both the OS are running over the Linux operating system. Sorry, Unix operating system. Okay, so both are running over the Unix. Both systems are capable of running a Linux commands. Okay, so then why iOS is highly secure? Because iOS doesn't have a much more features like Android. Okay, so Android have much more features so that any attacker can find the security vulnerability and exploitable. Okay, even iOS also vulnerable. Even I found a bug in Android, iOS devices, but which is not that much like exploitable, which limited to particular limited attacks because they have configured a privilege stuffs very highly, and also the access control mechanisms also very limited systems. Okay, they don't have much features. Okay, so that is why the iOS is highly secure, but comparatively both are same. Okay, so likewise, Linux is a highly secured one, and for example, if you're comparing Linux with Windows, we know that Windows is possible to hack, like capable of doing any kind of attacks. For example, ransomware or a rat-based attacks, any kind of stuff. But Linux is not that much easy. We have to uh, assign a privilege for that particular access. For example, you have a folder, okay, a test folder. So you assign that particular test folder is running a web application. For example, the application contain a feature called uploading of files, and it's doing some basic hashing works or any kind of stuff. Okay, just consider any kind of web application that comes in your mind. Okay, but it has feature called uploading of pictures or files, anything. Okay, so as an attacker, I try to exploit that particular bug. Okay, I'm just uploading some malicious file in that machine. I successfully like did that exploitations. After that, I'm trying to gain the reversion. Okay, reversion is all about gaining access to that particular computer. Okay, so now I'm gaining access, and then now I'm trying to explore the entire OS, but I can't. Why? Because the test folder is assigned for public user. Okay, but all other folders like EDC password contain folders or host files or any other outer directory files are highly protected with privilege. Okay, for example, there are two users. One is a public user, another one is a private user. The private user is created the test folder, but assign the permission to public user. Okay, so this is called a access control mechanism, and also known as a privilege access. Okay, to exploit this particular stuff, we have to do privilege escalation, which is really hard, not that much easy to exploit from anywhere itself. Okay, which is limited to particular steps. Okay, so that is why the Linux is very important and highly secure. Okay, I hope that you understand this. If you have any doubt, you can ask me at the end of the session. So, well, I just tell you about Linux is very important, why Linux is important for hacking and many more stuffs, right? But how the Linux is look like? Okay, so currently I'm running a Mac OS. Uh, to luckily the Mac OS support Linux commands. Okay, so right that so just consider this is a OS. Okay, I'm having a file manager here. In Windows also you can see the file manager. So once you click this, you can see random files like this, right? Files and folders. So this is a GUI, which means graphical user interface mode operating system. Okay. So before Linux, there is a OS called Unix. Okay, which runs entirely everything on command line interface, which doesn't support GUI mode. It's a CLI, command line interface. Okay. So there are two types of stuff. So I'll just show you some demo here. I'm just opening a terminal. So this is how the Unix looks like, the entire OS. Once the boot up is completed, the entire OS looks like this. Okay. So we need to run everything on command itself. Okay. For example, if I want to explore the file system, so here you can see once I open the file manager in the karthithehacker directory, I have application folder, Arduino, camjacking, and many more folders here, right? Downloads, pictures, and many more stuff. But in Unix, how we are going to see this? We can use the ls command, which represent list the file system. Okay, so once I hit ls, you can see all of my folders are listing here, right? Folders and files. Okay, so this is how the Unix looks like. But Linux, what the Linux is capable? Okay, Linux is capable of GUI mode, which support both CLI and GUI. Okay, graphical interface itself. Okay, so that's the main thing we have to learn the Linux command. So we can do everything on command line itself. For example, if I want to create a text file, so here you can see I have a google.txt. Likewise, I want to create a google1.txt. Okay, so in our mission, what we are going to do, we just go to the folder and right click and create a new folder or create a new file. Okay, that's what we do, right? But in command line itself, we can use a touch command. Okay, touch command and followed by the file name. Okay, google.txt. What I said, google1.txt. Okay, so this is a file name. Once I hit enter, again I'm doing ls. So here you can see I have google1.txt. In previous we don't have one. Okay, so for now I don't want google1.txt. What we are going to do in command like GUI mode, we just do by clicking this and move to bin, right? But in CLI we can use the rm command. Okay, we can use the rm command and we can remove that google1.txt. And not only for basic file operations or creating a file, deleting a file, creating a directory or deleting a directory, or not only limited to this, even if you gain access to some like unauthorized machines or authorized machine, you going to only see this command line itself. Okay, in movie you can see that the hacker gain access and seeing the entire screen, or gaining a remote access of their webcam. That's not going to happen here. Okay, in reality we do everything on command line itself. Even if just assume that this is not my computer, I gain someone's computer access and I'm exploring the file system, I'm doing ls command, I'm exploring stuff and many more things. Okay, so this is the reality. So that's the reason we should learn the Linux command. Okay, so here are the few major commands for like giving you a hint to start a Linux. Okay, so first we saw the ls, right? Second one is the pwd command is used to print working directory or present working directory. Okay, for example, I'm in the folder called development. Okay, so in this folder there's a application is running and I gain access to a particular machine using this vulnerability. Now I gain the reversion. Okay, just assume that I gain the reversion. Okay, now I'm in the development folder. I want to explore the file system, so I can use ls, right? So I want to delete a file or create a file, I can use a touch or rm command. Now I want to see the entire directory path, so I want to use this pwd command. Now here it's printing the entire directory, right? So this is how we can see the like current path. Okay, and third, the change directory. So if I want to change my directory to some other different folder, okay, for example, here you can see I have a PDF. So I'm clicking this PDF. Inside the PDF, I have index.html and input.php. Or else I want to go to some other location called like for example, if I want to go to development, so here you can see the development. Inside the development, I can go to Capital University, and I can change my directory by double clicking. Okay, this is what happening in GUI mode, but in CLI mode, we always use the CD command to change a directory to one directory to another directory. Okay, so we are in the development folder, and here we know that there is a folder called Capital University. Again, I'm using that name here, and now I change my directory to Capital University. If I want to come back, I can use cd space dot slash, which represent one step back. Okay, if I use both the time, which represent two times back. Okay, so this is what happening when I use cd command. Okay, so here you can see I like changing my directory to Capital University to developments. Okay, so this is what happening here. Okay, so what is curl, host, and ping? These are the network-based commands. So in browser, so this is a browser, right? If I try to do something like, for example, so here you can see my LinkedIn page. If I search about google.com, okay, if I search about google.com, so the browser making a crafted HTTP request and sending to the server and getting the response and receiving it here, right? So this is what happening. Okay, so in CLI mode, if you want to send a request, HTTP request, you have to use the curl command. Okay, curl. So in HTTP methods, there are many things. Example: get, put, post, delete, connect. Likewise, there are many things are there. Okay, so for example, I'm using only get method. Okay, get, and I'm using https colon double slash www.google.com. So what I'm doing here, I'm sending a request to google.com, which is get request. Okay, so once I hit enter, here you can see the HTML code of the google.com. Okay, so what the browser is doing, browser actually receiving this HTML data and rendering into the browser. So that's why we can see this GUI output. Okay, so that's the reason we are seeing this GUI output. Okay, so for example, if I want to see the response header, okay, I can use -I to see the response header. Okay, this is all about response informations. So you know the status code, right? HTTP status code 200, which represents the okay. If there is a status code called 301 or 300x, which represent the redirection. So now you can see, if I, instead of Google HTTPS, I'm using HTTP, which automatically redirected to HTTPS. Okay, so we will see if it is redirecting. No, it's not redirecting. So let me change to www to google.com. Yeah, now you can see 301 moved permanently, which is redirecting to http colon double slash www.google.com. Okay, so this is how, okay, this is how we can send the like HTTP request from the CLI itself. Okay, yeah. So likewise, host command. So if you want to find the IP address of any target machine or the target server information, for example, I have a google.com, but I want to find the Google IP address and where the server is hosted. Is there any pointing service are there? Okay, I can use this host command, host google.com. Okay, so if I send this, here you can see I received the IP version 4 and IP version 6, and also what are the like handle they have. They have a SMTP configuration as well as. Okay, so just for confirmation, I'm copying this IP address. Okay, this is a Google IP address. I'm copying this IP address, and I'm pasting it here. Here you can see I remove the google.com and I'm pasting the IP address. Okay, see, it's automatically redirecting to google.com. So we confirm that this is a Google IP address. Okay, so or else you can use whois command. I don't have that whois here or not. You can use this whois and hit your IP address here. You can see the net informations and some more server informations as well as. Okay, so finally, the ping command. The ping command is used to send the ICMP packets to your machine to your connected devices. For example, if you want to check the connectivity of two computer or the connected devices that connected through the internet, you can use this ping command. Okay. So as I know, I'm connected to the internet, which represent I can able to do surf on Google itself, right? So I can do some Googling surf. So even I use the google.com here, right? Even I use the google.com, which is showing I'm connected to the Google server. Okay, so just for confirmation, I'm using this one. Instead of IP address, I'm doing google.com. So here you can see it's sending ICMP sequence, and we're receiving the again IP address. Okay, just for confirmation. So this is how we can use the ping command. Okay, so Linux may look like hard, but once you started learning about the Linux is most friendly thing for everyone. Okay, for personally, I recommend to start a cybersecurity. Linux is very important. Even you can do automation, you can develop more stuffs on Linux. So Linux is very good thing to learn. Okay, not only for cybersecurity, even if you're planning to start a career in DevOps or app development, so or server configuration, server administrative based works, you just learn a Linux. It's very important. Okay, so now we will see what's the reason behind learning the programming language and scripting language. So first, my suggestion, it's not an independent one, it's a my suggestion, I'm just sharing. Developing a custom cybersecurity tools. So if you are familiar with Kali Linux or Parrot OS, which is a security based OS, okay, so which already have hacking tools, but I believe using some random tool is not about hacking. Okay, we have to understand the technology, we have to hack the technology programmatically by creating our own script. We have to hack. Okay, what's happening there, they are also providing a tools, but once we started using a tools, we addicted to that particular stuff, and in the end, like at the end, we don't understand what's happening behind there. Okay, so that's the main reason we should understand the basic stuff. Okay, so likewise, for more research, as I told you, I'm doing bug hunting, and also I'm a cybersecurity researcher. If I'm planning to hack a newly developed device, for example, I'm planning to hack a iPhone 14 Pro or the newly launching 15 or something like that. So there is no exploit, right? There is no documentation or no research works already done in publicly, right? If there is already available, why I should do? Okay, which is already available, right? So I have to find a new way. So to find a new way, I have to write my own script, I have to do more stuff, I have to do more coding review stuff. So to understand a coding, I mean to understand the application, we need to learn coding, and also to develop a exploit, we need to learn coding. Okay, so I have a GitHub repository. In my GitHub repository, I posted lots of tools. I just share some basic stuff here. uh, if you search on if you search on Google GitHub karthithehacker, you will get something. Okay, GitHub. So if you search something like this, you will end up by landing my GitHub profile. So GitHub is all about sharing your code or using someone's open source coding application. So you know about the Play Store and App Store, right? Which is allow you to install an application which built by a company or person, which may contain a game or a AI based application or anything. Okay, we can't like exactly say this is one or not. Okay, so anything. Likewise in GitHub, you can see the source code. Okay, if the company is allowing you to publish open source stuff, there you can find the source code. Okay, so here I just published lots of tools. So I just created my resume as well as what are the things I learned and what are the things I know. Okay, so I recommend you guys, you are from like CS students background, so I strongly recommend you to, if you are planning to start a career in cybersecurity or coding based works, just open a GitHub account. If you are doing a web development, mobile app development, or desktop app development, anything that related to coding, just open a GitHub repository, which is very important, and do some projects. Okay, just create a CV site and just create your any application, just fun application. I'm not talking about a calculator application or not. So companies are looking for like skilled people. First thing is degree is very important. Okay, I accept that. So a degree is just the entry level. Okay, it's a capable of accepting your like interview process. Okay, you are capable of going to attend an interview. Okay, to select an interview and to crack some competitive exams, we have to learn some coding stuff, right? So that's what I'm recommending. So if you put your GitHub profile in your resume, which contain lots of open source project, the HR or the technical person look into your GitHub profile and see your codes and your skill sets, then definitely they will hire you. Okay, so companies are looking for skilled people, not just degree holders. Okay, So in repository, you can see many tools which I built with JavaScript, EJS, and Python, Bash, and many more stuff. Okay, one of my favorite tool is called Poseidon. So most people are interested in hacking a social media stuff, right? So this tool is all about hacking social media using a cloud interface. So just read the documentations and how this will work. Okay, so I created this tool with PHP and Node.js. Okay, so here you can see one thing, which is, for example, if you are learning only Python, which doesn't help you. Okay, if you are learning only a Bash, which doesn't help you have to learn multiple language, and you have to make some communication between 2 to 3 languages. Okay, how the both languages are communicating, you have to create a API calls, and you have to make some communication. That is very important. Okay, yeah. So likewise, there are many stuffs here. You can take some inspirations, or you can review. You can see my code as well. For example, here you can see the verb flow. So how I written this code here? This is fully about a Node.js CLI application. So here you can see the code, and I did some commanding like stuff. So you reading command, you can actually understand what's happening there. Okay. So once you learn the basic stuffs, you can look into these stuffs. Not only my repository, there are many people are there. You can just watch their repository, understand the codes. Okay, read their codes, which is very important. Okay, yeah. So that's a reason for learning a programming language. And now we will see the core concept of learning a like programming language, not only for cybersecurity and for other purpose. Okay, first thing, the analyzing malware. So there is a role called malware analysis. Their role is to analyze the malware and figure out what kind of malware is that, and what are the permissions they are asking, and what are the information they are getting, and who the information from where it's stealing to and where it's storing. Okay, so these are the things the malware analysts actually do. So how they are doing, they actually strong about reverse engineering, bytecode analysis, and assembly code, and C programming, Java programming as well. Okay, in starting itself, I told you that $5,000 bounty, right? I strongly recommend you to read about Java, because I learned Java, and then with the Java knowledge, I figure out how to exploit Android OS by creating a own Java code. Okay, so it's very important to learn a Java and Python and many more languages. Okay, so if you're in your syllabus, if you have a Python or a Java, I'm not sure what's your syllabus, but definitely you will have any one language. Just understand very deep concepts, and learn very more uh, different ways. Okay, like you will learn about the data structure, a while loop, for loop, or some other things. For example, how to use Python in for loop, or how to use switch case statement. Likewise, you will learn, but that is not going to help you. You have to learn like this, using a Python to create a web app. Okay, using a Python to create an Android application. You have to learn like this, then only you can able to build something. Okay, which is really helpful for your career. Okay, so then the third one is creating a secure application. So yeah, there are tons of application developers are there. They are developing mobile application, desktop applications, and web application, API, cloud application. There are different types of application as well as. Okay, so they are developing application, but they are not considering about the security interface. So for that, we need to understand the basic concept of security stuff. Okay, so for example, let me show you. I don't have any example, but okay, I just show you one lab. Okay, test PHP lab. This is actually a lab website. I don't recommend lab, but to showcase you as a beginner, I'm just showcasing you something. Okay, so here you can see the search bar, right? So which is getting some data. I'm just giving input, and it's taking as a input and reflecting it here. Okay, without sanitizing. Okay, so now I just provided HHH, which is not sensitive stuff, or which is not uh, really a matter for security stuff. But now, what if I enter some XSS payload, which can giving a like to exploit a webcam of the client systems, or getting some location permissions, or gaining some information by providing content spoofing, or any kind of which is not limited to similar thing, which is possible to tons of stuff. Okay, so just see. So here it's closing in H2 tag. What I'm doing, I'm just creating my crafted request here. Okay, JJ and slash h2, and I'm providing. I'm not sure which is vulnerable or not, but it's a lab site. Okay, I'm just showcasing you. So once I hit enter, you can see the one pop-up, which is not pop-up like before, right? So likewise, I can say windows.location and it will automatically redirect it to my website or something like that. Okay. So we can do many steps. Just Google about XSS. You will see some information. Okay. XSS. Okay. It's a web application based vulnerability. Once you learn all these things, you will understand why it's vulnerable and what are the security impacts are there. Okay. So anyways, I'm just giving you idea. This is not about web security concepts. Okay, I'm just showing you idea. Okay, so yeah. So why it's happening? Because the application is not secure. So we need to create some implementations. Okay, we need to make some implementations on input validation. So it's blindly accepting the user input. What if I insert a SQL injection payload? I can able to extract the database informations. The data are stored in database. I can able to download it, and I can use it for a future purpose. Likewise, I found the similar bugs on Indian government websites. So you know that Indian government's database are very highly sensitive, and I ethically reported to Indian government. Even I found a bug in TM cell, like CM cell. You know that, like which can anyone can able to file a petition, and it's all about sensitive information which contain case information and request information and username and passwords and so. Okay, yeah. So finally, understanding exploit. So now we just did the XSS, right? To exploit this XSS, we can do a cookie stealing or like redirection based attacks and many more stuff. Okay, so using these kind of bugs, actually attacker can gain more information or more unauthorized access. Okay, so to exploit these things, so here even I input the some XSS which called, like I'll just show you here. So this is what I inputted there. Okay, it's actually HTML tag. Okay, HTML tag. I use a script tag to run the JavaScript. So okay, the alert one is a JavaScript code. Instead of this, if I use any random string here, I can display my name over there in the pop-up. Okay, for example, instead of this one, if I use double quote and just if I use my username here, how I can able to see my name. I think, yeah, now here you can see my name. So it's all about JavaScript. Okay, so I know JavaScript, so then only I can able to create this kind of payload, and then I'm exploiting. Okay, so this is what I'm mapping. Okay, okay. So yeah, actually, this is not only about a CS or a EC or Ghibli kind of stuff. Even just for information I'm sharing, even I'm from the welder background. Okay, I'm not a CS student. I'm a welder. After I studied myself to like, because cybersecurity is my passion, I studied myself. Okay, so it's not about what you're studying, it's about what your interest. Okay, even I told you that even hardware can also exploitable, right? So even you can learn some hardware stuff like Arduino and Raspberry Pi microcontroller and microprocessor basic stuffs and firmware steps to exploit the hardware things. Okay, so okay, now I understand because you are not from CS background. Okay, yeah, okay. In previous slide, I told you learning a programming language and scripting language is very important. But now I'm sharing what are the languages very important for and what are the terms. Okay. So Java. Java is used for Android app development and desktop application development. I developed some desktop application. I'll just show you. Okay. So as a security researcher, I created a tool called Ghost Recon. So which is used to do some security audits. Okay. So this is the tool Ghost Recon. I used Electron.js here to build this application. Okay, so likewise you can actually build a desktop application using Java FX. So this is a UI. Okay, So likewise, we can build many applications, and web application. We can also build a web application using a Java. So Java is used for many purpose, not only for like limited things. Okay, and Python. Okay, so Python. Why Python? My suggestion, I use Python for security testing and also automation stuff, for cyber security. So that's what I mentioned here: automation and exploit development, and also CLI2 development as well as. But Python is not limited to that. You can build actually a mobile application using Kiwi framework, or a web application using a Django or Fast API or Flask. And yeah, Python is used for many purpose, not only for automation and exploit development. Okay, I mentioned for cyber security. Okay, and Bash is used for automation and tool development. Even in my repository, you can see many JS and Bash and Python based repository, because I use these three languages for various times. Okay, and JS means JavaScript. JavaScript is used for wide purpose. You can build a mobile application using React Native, or else you can build a front end UI with highly customizable stuff using a React framework, or else you can build a backend using Express.js, or else you can build a desktop application using Electron.js. Likewise, there are many things. Even you can build a API, you can build cloud applications, anything. Okay, so JS is not limited to a single thing; it is used for many purposes. Okay, so likewise, Go, there is a language called Go. So Go is used for tool development, not only for good tool development, but in cybersecurity, it is used for tool development, and many more stuffs. Okay, like for example, developing a web application, or again CLI tools, again many more stuffs. Okay, but it's not limited. Okay, Go is highly fastest language according to Google research, I mean search, but I recommend still the C is the fastest language. Okay, I'm not sure, but Go have some future to handling the memory stuffs, but I do some testing, but I found the C is much better. Okay, so then PHP, as you know, PHP is widely used in backend web application. So I use for backend web-based exploits like reverse shell and many more stuffs. Okay, yeah. Then so network and service fundamentals. Okay, so what is network? That I previously told you that like communicating with one system to another system is all about network. Okay, so for example, guys, just a minute. Sorry guys, I'm back. So networking is all about communicating one system to another system, and as I know, server is capable of serving some data. It can be a mail data, or web application data, or else a basic video sharing servers, or anything. Okay, so there are tons of servers. Even you know the google.com is a name, right? It's a DNS, okay, domain name. So even we have a server for DNS also. Okay, so there are tons of things are there. So first, in networking, what are the things we have to learn? First thing, we have to learn about the IP address and IP address types. Okay, so what is IP address and IP address types? So there are two types of IP address. One is version 4 and version 6. Here we saw that once if we hit enter, post Google. Once if I hit enter, here you can see I have a IP version 4 and this is a IP version 6. Okay, so this is a IP version 4 and version 6. Okay, and then what is the static, dynamic, and local and public IP? So Just for example purpose, I'm telling you, in movie, there are lots of like concept they are sharing. Like once I have a IP address, I can able to control the entire mobile device or the system. Like they just say with the IP address I can able to track a person. With the IP address I can able to hack a person. They are just telling those things, right? But actually that's not possible in reality, because you guys have a dynamic IP address, okay, which means it will automatically change every time, okay. But in movie, how they are representing, like after refreshing, the target person or the hacker is changing one location to another location. It's not possible in reality, because actually your IP address is dynamic, okay. So there is no one having a static IP address. Static IP address is a fixed IP address, okay. So here you can see this is a Google IP address, okay. This is a Google IP address. Even tomorrow I use this IP address, I can able to land it to the Google page. But now this is my IP address, okay. I don't want to disclose my IP address. But if you open your mobile phone and just type for what is my IP, you can see your IP address, okay. After 1 or 2 minutes of walk, or after turning on and off like your mobile data again and again, you may see some different IP address. It will change every 1 hour or 2 or something like that, based on your location and tower ID. It will automatically change, okay. So that is called dynamic IP address. If you want static IP address, you have to request your ISP. So who is ISP? Internet service provider. It can be a Geo or Airtel or any kind of mobile service provider, okay, I mean internet service provider, okay. So you can ask them, you have to pay extra money to get the static IP, okay. But who is having the static IP? So as we saw, the Google is having static IP. Likewise, those who want to host their application to the control with highly performing data. For example, the Google has more information, right? So anyone can from anywhere just use it. So that's the reason they are using static IP. And in hacking itself, we have to use static IP. If you want to hack someone's device, first thing you have to set up your machine as a static IP, okay, which is very important, okay. Second thing, uh, you can do the code forwarding, okay. So there are many concepts are there, but which are technical stuff. I just give you the overview, okay. So what is local IP and public IP? So the IP is communicating over the internet is called public IP. So if you do a what is my IP, you will see one IP address. It is called public IP, which can able to access from anywhere in the world. But local IP is all about communicating this IP address within your network. For example, connecting with the Wi-Fi network. In that Wi-Fi network, I connected my mobile device and my computer. So there is a one like local network is formed, right? So I can use my computer IP address. With that IP address, I can able to call my computer from my mobile itself or my computer itself. Okay, so that's what happening. Let me show you how the IP addresses look like. So if you use the ifconfig in Linux or Mac, you can see this one. Okay, so grep is an optional one. So this is my local IP address. If you use the same command in my Linux computer, I will get something like 192.168.1.3 or 1.2, something like that. Okay, so the range is up to 192.168.1.255. That's a maximum range. Okay, and the third thing is network topologies. Network topology is all about the ways of communicating the network stuff. So like there are mesh topology, CAN topology, and many more things. Okay, so many more types of topologies are there. So while learning networking, you will learn these basic stuff. Okay, and network types. So network types is very important, because we have different network types. Okay, MAN and CAN and PAN. Likewise, though it's just a simple term name. MAN means metropolitan area network. Like CAN means control area network, and PAN means private area network. Likewise, you can call it however you want. Okay, there are tons of network types are there. And finally, these are the servers that you are mainly focused for: web server, SMTP server, FTP server. So web server, as you can see, the PHP server or Apache or Nginx server. SMTP server, simple mail transfer server, and FTP, file transfer server, which is specifically for sharing of files between you and your server. Okay, and many more. But this is very important. Okay. So yeah, I'm just showing you some demo IP address and types and PHP web server. Okay, so I'm just creating a directory PHP test here. I'm changing my directory to PHP test. Yeah. So we're just going to build some basic PHP server. Okay. So I'm going to create a one file called index.php. Okay, index.php, which doesn't do some more advanced stuff. It just display the information. Okay, I'm just echoing hello world. That's enough. Okay. Okay, that's it. So how to run this server? So I created a script. Now I want to run this server. Okay. So first thing, I already told you local IP and public IP and loopback IP. Okay. Loopback IP is fixed one, 127.0.0.1, which you can access that IP from your machine itself. Okay. So first thing, I'm running my application in my local server. Sudo php minus s and 127.0.0.1 colon port 80. So I'm running this server on port 80. So now if I access this URL, you can see the echo. Hello world, right? We are seeing this one, right? We know this is our local IP. What if I try to access this IP? It's not accessible, right? Because the server is running inside the local port. Okay. Now I'm just doing same thing, but this time I'm using my local IP. Not loopback, local IP. This is a local IP. Okay. So if I refresh this page, here you can see the using this IP address, I can able to access this website. Okay. So likewise, even if I use this IP address in my mobile phone, I can able to access this because I connected to same network. Okay. So here you can see I connected to the same network. Okay. So now if I run this local IP, we will try here loopback. Loopback is not working. So you want to run the application in both loopback and local IP, you can use this IP address called 0.0.0.0. Okay, it is called bind IP. Okay, 0.0.0.0. Okay. Okay. Sorry, 0.0. Okay. Forgot to enter. Now we try to refresh here. So here you can see we have a loopback here and also our IP address. So this is how the PHP server will work, and these are the IP types. Okay, which is very important. So application development, as we already saw, the Android is used for like for developing Android application. We use Android Studio. Android Studio support Java and Kotlin, and also you can build Android application using React Native. For developing iOS, you can use Xcode. It's a framework for like Android Studio, but for developing iOS app, you can use a Swiss language for developing iOS app. Okay, and React Native, which is used to again develop an Android or iOS application. It's a native library. Okay, so and finally, web application, you can use Express.js or Fast API or PHP or Java. So as we already saw about these things, and desktop application, you can use Electron.js, Python with tkinter or Qt5 framework, Java FX or C Sharp or VS Code. Okay, Visual Studio. Okay, and CLI application is a different thing. You can run all the application over the command line itself. You can use a Python or Node.js or C or Go or Bash. Okay, so we already saw this topic. I'm just giving an overview hint. Okay, so RF communication is all about communicating any or sending or receiving a data over the wireless network. Okay, so it can be a Bluetooth or a Wi-Fi or any other radio frequency communication. Okay, so it can be anything. So in real time, you can see that you are wearing a smartwatch which communicating with your Bluetooth communication, right? So anyone with the in the lower range can able to perform a blue bone attack and gain a control of your smartwatch or your mobile device which already having Bluetooth enabled. Okay, but for this the Bluetooth should be in unencrypted communication. If it's an encrypted one, we can't do anything. Okay, So likewise, I already posted a video about hijacking FM radio station in my Instagram page. I will share in later session. Okay, and some more advanced RF hacking stuff. Okay, we can able to hack walkie-talkies and many more sensitive data. Even you can hack ship vessels using this RF communication. So understanding RF is very important to implement that particular thing in cybersecurity. Okay. So well, and finally, the most awaited technology is IoT one. Nowadays, we can see everywhere this one. But the IoT is not all about understanding a single technology. It's all about combined technology. Okay. So to understand IoT, you have to learn about a cloud, DBMS or database management system, and applications like web and mobile and API communications. Because if you are planning to control your smart LED, how you are going to control? First thing, you have to install application in your mobile phone, then you have to configure, then you can control the entire LED using this mobile device, right? So first you have to understand the mobile device applications and web device application and APIs. API is all about communicating two applications each other. It's called application programming interface. Okay. So communication protocols like RF communication or wired, it can be anything, because based on the environment it will change. Okay. So hardwares, what are the hardwares are they? Microcontroller and microprocessor and sensor and other modules. Like if you are building, if you are like, there is a like one IoT product called Philips Smart LED. I'm not sure it's another name, but it's by a Philips one. I found a bug in that LED. How I found means like I can able to gain unauthorized access and turn it on and off by myself. Okay. So what are the technologies they are having? They have a ESP32 microcontroller, which is a Wi-Fi development board, which can capable of hacking. Sorry, which can capable of integrated with IoT devices, and it can directly communicate to internet once we share the credentials. Okay. So likewise, there are many things we have to learn here. So I'm just giving you a hint like a microcontroller and microprocessor. Microcontroller, you can take it as an example, Raspberry Pi or as a Tinker board or any other SBC. Microcontroller, I'm telling Arduino, Node MCU, or DigiSpark. Okay, so these are the microcontrollers we can use. So requirements to start a cybersecurity. So you learn some basic stuff, but you have to buy some gadgets, right? So first, Linux OS from Debian family, anything it's okay, but Kali and Parrot is preferable because it has pre-installed tools, and PC with minimum 4 GB and IP processor RAM is very important. But my suggestion is Mac, because you can develop or test iOS itself. Okay, and Android mobile with router, it can be emulator or a normal physical device. Okay, which is very important. And also iPhone with a jailbreak and without jailbreak, because jailbreak is entirely different access and without jailbreak is different access. Okay. And finally, embedded systems you have to purchase like Arduino Uno or Mega or Node MCU, ESP8266 or ESP32, anything. Okay, you can choose any one for microcontroller and microprocessor itself. Okay, and HC05 is a Bluetooth module. 433 megahertz is a transceiver module, which capable of transmitting and receiving the both frequency. So then Raspberry Pi W or else Pi 3 module. Okay, which is anything. Okay. So well, now we are in the Q&A session. You can ask your query, and from my side, one advice before starting this Q&A session. So we are in the cyber era, right? So we are capable of adopting the mobile devices and laptop. First thing, we have to learn how securely we have to use the mobile devices. It's very important. As a security researcher, I never suggest anyone to uh, install a antivirus software in your device, because the most of the viruses are created by the antivirus company. If you do some googling stuff, you will end up finding the same result. Okay, so how to prevent and why it's very important? Without using antivirus, is it possible to prevent? Yes, it is. First thing, you have to check your installed application. It is very important. Okay, many people are, I'm seeing, they are just installing the GB WhatsApp or installing some modded application for unlimited coins and more other stuff, but that's not a important thing. Okay, because your data can be exposed by installing some modded application or untrusted application which is not provided by the Play Store or App Store. Okay, which is very important. Okay, and the third one is you have to check your background running application. For example, there may be application which is silently running in your background. Like you can check the permission called background and foreground running status. So foreground is okay, but background running is quite sensitive thing. Okay, because the most of the spyware only run on background. But nowadays we can see some common applications like WhatsApp and Instagram or any other meta application which is already running on background, even Google Assistant, because that's a future. So the application should run properly, so we need to allow the permission. Okay, so don't confuse. But if you are running our WhatsApp GB or Instagram modded version, you have to uninstall first. Okay, because that's not a trusted application. Okay, so this is the third thing. The fourth thing, don't install any kind of antivirus. Just go to your Play Store. In Play Store you can see the play protection option. Okay, once you check the play protection option, you can enable that one. Already your phone is by default it's enabled one, but in some case you may turn off by the accidentally or for installing some unauthorized application. So make sure you turn it on and just do a basic scan. Okay, the play protection has a few free feature called scanning option. It doesn't cost you or it doesn't ask you to install any application. It will check your entire installed application and then it will give you the result. If there is something suspiciously found, it will definitely uh, show you the pop-up of that particular application icon. Okay, then you can uninstall and go to your settings. So what if your mobile gets hacked? What if your mobile gets hacked? You don't know, right? So what you should do? First thing you have to do, factory reset your phone. Okay, it's which is really good thing. So just go to your settings and do factory reset, which is very important. Don't blindly think something like the application installing the antivirus can be save your data or sharing some like information to some other mobiles may give you more information. It doesn't work. Okay, if your phone get hacked, just first step, just try to factory reset your phone. Okay, that's the first thing. Okay, if you want to find the person who is hacked your phone or who is stealing your data, just provide your phone to any other law enforcement agency. They will do some malware analysis or a forensic analysis. So contact your nearby solution provider and hand over the phone for 2 to 3 days. They will do all the analysis and they will find the solution. Okay, so this is the two things. Don't watch any YouTube videos for recovering thing or checking your mobile antivirus, because the first thing and malware is delivering from the YouTube. Okay, most of the people in YouTube are sharing, you install this application to secure your phone or something like that. That's not a way. Okay, so don't install any application that is provided by YouTuber or any other stuff. Okay, so yeah. So is there any doubt? You can ask. You can turn on your mic and ask now.
Sir, what does client side attack mean?
Sorry,
What does client side attack mean?
blind side attack,
Client side attack.
client side attack. So let me ask in chat. You are asking about client side attack, right?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Okay. So to understand this, you have to understand the basic concept of server and client communication. So server actually serve the data, right? But client actually render and receive the data. Okay, it just display the information. Okay, so my browser is a client. Okay, if I am planning to do some attacks over the client side, it's called client side attack. For example, uh, you are browsing a google.com. I found a bug in google.com, but which is not possible to exploit a Google server, but it's possible to exploit a Google user. Okay, so by exploiting this, I can able to take over the your Google account credentials, or I can able to redirect your Google current page to another unauthorized page, something like that. This is called client side data exploitation. We can also do some client side code execution, like I can able to pop up some camera permissions or location permission or any other stuff. This is all about client side attack. Kishore is asking a question called, sir, can I install a Linux on virtual machine? Yes, of course, you can install a Linux on virtual machine, but make sure your machine has minimum 6 GB of RAM, because if your machine has lower than 4 or 5, you may see some hanging issues. So in that case, you can install a primary OS as a Linux, or else you can do a dual boot. Okay, anything. Okay, a loopback is a IP address which assigned by the same machine. In your, even in your computer also there is a IP address. I think you are not familiar with computer science meme. I'm not sure, but if you see there's a computer meme. Okay, a computer science meme. There is no place called 127.0.0.1, which represent there is no other service can run in this IP address. I can able to access that particular IP from my machine itself, which is not a useful one, but it is used for developing and testing itself. Okay, which is, but that's not a that much useful one, because no attacks can performed in my machine itself, right? Because that's not a use case. Even I can't share my application to some other persons. So that's a major drawback in loopback. Okay, guys. So I think there is no question. I think so. Okay, fine. So this is my information. Thanks
Where
for
I stop to study bug bounty.
bug bounty. Okay,
Yes,
I just share. Your name?
Trisha.
Trisha. Okay. So let me share some information. So if you are planning to start a cybersecurity, first thing you have to learn a book called Hacker One book, Hacker One web testing, the Backers No One book. So let me search book for this one. Okay, so you can browse and download this book. It's a free version. Okay, just for beginner level. Okay, it's just for beginner level. It just give you an idea of uh, types of bugs, and how they are exploitable, and what are the bugs are there, and why the bug mode is very important. These are things are covering here. And my recommendation is, first, before starting a bug bounty, understand the web development concept. Like as I already told you, JavaScript, HTML, CSS, and PHP is very important. So once you learn these things, you can start this book reading itself. And then if you wish for taking a course, uh, you can watch some random YouTube videos for beginner friendly, or else if you are planning to study quickly, or if you want to take course, we are also offering some courses. And also there are many products are there, but we are offering this course in Tamil and with certification itself. So if you search about a Capusic University, here you can see a bug bounty. Here we have two bug bounty courses. One is web application bug bounty, another one is mobile application bug bounty. Okay, so mobile application and web application. So as a beginner, I recommend to go with the web application bug bounty. So here I give entire information. Okay, what are the things you will learn, and who can take this course, and what are the things I added in this course. Okay, so here you can see the like recon automation stuff, like how I do reconnaissance, and what are the things that help me to find sensitive bugs, and all the information I included here. And we also provided tools as well as, and the bugs that I discovered in Microsoft and Nokia and some more big companies. I will disclose all this information here, and many more steps. Okay, if you are interested, have a look about this university.capusic.com. Here you can see all this information. Okay,
Okay,
so
bro.
it's a certified course. Once you complete it, you will receive the certificate. Yeah.
Okay, bro. Thank you.
Yeah. So guys, thanks for listening. And these are my just if you are planning to contact me for any kind of cyber crime related issues, or like if you want to start career in cybersecurity, you can just follow this information. This is my WhatsApp number, this is my website, this is my email ID, and LinkedIn and Instagram. I'm mostly active on Instagram and LinkedIn. In Instagram, you will find some informations like how I hacked radio FMs and some more information and my next event informations and my research works. But in LinkedIn, you can see some of my crime investigation write-ups and stories about like something related to newly upcoming attacks and more stuff. Okay, so this is my LinkedIn profile and Instagram profile. If you wish, you can contact me here. And as I already told you, we have a university here. It's a e-learning platform. And one more thing, those who interested in starting a cybersecurity, before enrolling this course, we already have some free webinars. So to save yourself from cyber attacks and cyber criminals, I recommend you to watch this free cyber warrior webinar. Once you completed this, you will receive an e-certificate in 10 days. Okay, so click this link and register and try to watch this if you are interested in about cyber crime attacks that is happening in real time. Okay, uh, so to secure yourself from cyber attacks and how hackers are hacking your mobile phones, I show everything in live here. Okay, I almost investigated more than 90 plus cybercrime cases. Still I'm doing so. I'm just shared my stories, my real time experience also. Okay, and Cybersly is a recently conducted webinar by Capital Securities. We have 5 industrial experts here, so all of them are conducting different concepts. It is also free, but currently we are not providing a certificate for this because those who are all attend the live event only receive the certificate. But you can watch the content. Okay, you can watch this 5 days webinar. Here I have all the content here. First day we started a kickstart to cybersecurity, and then web authentication. And those just now some person asked about bug bounty, right? So we just talk about the basic concept of web authentication, where it's used in bug bounty, and internal security audit, Go language for cybersecurity, and many more things. Okay, so you can watch this by clicking this watch cyber button. Yeah, so that's all, guys. That's all from my side. Thank you.
என்ன தாத்தா?
Thank you, sir. Thank you so much. And
சரி.
I'm very thankful for your time. I appreciate the information and the advice you have shared with us for our story.
என்ன
Thank you
தாத்தா?
so much.
Welcome.
Thank you, sir. Students, you can leave the meeting.
ஆ ஆ ஆ சரி தாத்தா.